Hello my friends and welcome back. One of my all-time favorite video games has to be Kirby's Epic Yarn. You know where I'm going with this. That game holds a soft spot in my cold, crusty heart because my husband and I would spend hours just playing it together after we first got engaged, and there's just a lot of good memories associated with that game for me. Now, if you're anywhere on the internet, you may have noticed that Nintendo has released a new Kirby game, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Y'all, I made a Kirby this week. I decided to mix things up a little bit, however, and use some fuzzy yarn. I'm using Parfait Chunky by Premier. YouTube says short introductions are preferred, so let's go do the thing.
Kirby merely requires 2 different colors of yarn. Now to choose between my crochet hooks. I have this L or 8mm crochet hook as well as this J or 6mm crochet hook. Labels on the yarn will advise which needle size as well as which hook size to use, offering their best suggestion. Given that I am making a plushie, I want the spaces to be as tight as possible so we don't have stuffing falling out. So I'm going to go with my J or 6mm crochet hook. I'll also need my scissors, a yarn needle, some felt, and stuffing. Let me just scooch this out of the way. I saw a crafting hack on TikTok where you can remove the label from your yarn, give it a good old squish, and that'll make it a lot easier to find the center pole of your yarn. Hold on, I don't think I can actually show this on YouTube. Anyway, I gave it a try, but alas, it was not successful. I've resigned myself to just using the outside yarn. Now there's not much to Kirby. He's just a ball with some appendages and a face. So we'll begin on his body. Sometimes with a fuzzier yarn, it gets a little harder to count your stitches, so I definitely recommend using a stitch marker if needed. I really like this Premier Parfait yarn. It gets you that fluffiness without making it impossible to count your stitches. Once I have a good chunk of the body done, we'll fill them up with some stuffing. And finish stitching the body. I realized that I didn't have quite enough stuffing in here. He wasn't as firm as I wanted him to be. So, some questionable video footage later, I'll use the tail and cinch up his little Kirby butthole. Once the end is weaved in and secure, we'll snip that off. Give him a good rollin'. It reminds me of forming punchka balls for punchka day. Anyway, then we'll move on to his little arms. that we have 2 arms. I'll attach those to the body. I put them up a little higher so then he looks like he's excited or waving around. Next, I'll move on to his feet. And I was able to find the center pole. Once I've finished stitching the first foot, I'll make a second one. And attach those to the body. All that's left are the felt details for his face. Once I have them all cut out, I will dry fit them in place. Checking my references and secure them with hot glue.
Okay, quick do the call to action before my camera dies. Call to action time. If you aren't already, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, click on the like button or whatever the hell YouTube wants you to do now. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, I can be found on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I have patterns available through my Ravelry shop and through my Etsy shop. Links to all this nonsense are in the description box below. Nailed it! Camera didn't die. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Perfect. All his felt details have been attached. And I was able to add some additional detail with some Posca pens.
Is there something on my head? Kirby hat was a good idea. And check it out, because Kirby hat has Kirby feet. Kirby is done. He turned out fantastic. He is super fuzzy, super soft and squishy. He is fantastic. He was a very quick make, not only because of the width of the yarn, but because he's just a circle with some cones and feet shapes and felt and Posca pens and hot glue. But I digress. He turned out phenomenal. I've got tons of yarn left over yet, so I could make a whole army of Kirbys. I will whip up the pattern for Kirby and pop that up on my Ravelry site, and any applicable links will be in the description box below. And let me know in the comments if you would also like to see a pattern for the Kirby beanie. If there's enough interest, then I'll go ahead and put in the effort of actually writing a pattern. But with that, I thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate the crap out of you. Okay, I love you, bye. I left my coffee upstairs. Will be a reward for getting this done. Okay. Moving on. My desk is already full of a project I'm going to be working on for May. Y'all can't see it, but it's all down here. I asked my 5-year-old if Kirby absorbed mom, what kind of superpower he would then gain. And according to the 5-year-old, he would be able to hear when somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to. Super mom hearing for the win.